All right, let's open the new folder. Especially, please open the Visual Studio here, and then we are going to create the project here. And definitely similar to the last time, we will create. This time we will create ASP.NET, so ASP application using the Visual Basic here. So this one, and click Next. And the name of this example will be the web connectivity, web DB connectivity. Okay, and let's create it. And you can click web forms. All right, so once you have a new project called web DB connectivity, and we need to actually connect this one to the database. So in order to do that, you need to go to view, and there is a server explorer, not the solution explorer, so server explorer here, and click it. And now you can see the server explorer on the left hand side, and then here. So if you click the DB connection, and then click the right button, you can see the add connection. And here you can choose different type of database, and then however we will use access in this time, so just choose access and continue. Now you can see actually you can see this window, pop-up window, and definitely we need to select the access file, I'm sorry. So access file name here, and so here if you go back to the so you need to find your university.mdb file. I think you should download this one from the e-class so that you can assign actually choose a preferred location here, and then you can click OK, or you can also test the connection, and connection is succeeded, and then you can click OK to add the connection. So now you can see the property of the university.mbd, so access file here, and once your connection is generated, and then under this table and under this mdb right, that mdb file, you can see the multiple tables. So we have 7 tables, and also you can see the query, using query, and also other queries. We have multiple queries, seems like, right? Functions, stored procedure, and view under the folder. And if you just click this one, and then you can actually see the detailed attribute, okay, of each table. So if you want to see the data in this table, click the right button of your mouse, okay, and then here is a retrieve data button. So if you click it, then you can see the contents of the in the table, database table. All right, so we are going to utilize this database and in the website. So let's develop the website. Okay, so here let's add a web form in your the project. So let's say just add go to the project, and then here's add a new item, and we are going to add the new form here called what's the name, page 1, and click add. And once you have this form, you can actually drag and drop the table. Let me see the design view here. Table English. Okay, in this web page, page 1. Very good. Name, course, access zone. Right, configure the grid view, font. By the way, oh, I'm sorry. Should drag and drop the student table, not this one. I'm sorry. Just let me delete it. Let me drag and drop the student table here, right, so that you can see this one. Okay, you can configure the grid view control if you want it. So this is the grid view, and then also set the property, relevant property for the access data source. And if you want to run it, let me press Ctrl+5, F5, so that you can compile this web page. It takes time. All right, my laptop is not that fast. Obviously, it's not that good. And then now you can see all the content here, right, in website, right? That's how we can call the database from the website. So you can just, so if you look at the source code, and basically we can see here's a grid view, and the grid view called the database here, column, and then right. So each column, we have multiple columns, student ID, department ID, and so on. So you can check the original ASP code here, right, under the contents. Also, if you go back to the design, and then here, whenever you click it, you can see the grid view like a smart tag here, right? So you can expand the view or close it, open it, right? And then you can change the format if you want it. And here, let's click the auto format so that you can actually change the format of the table. So here, in the auto format dialog box, you can select the rainy day schema. So this one, so that you can see change the format here. Let me apply this one, right? So that you can see the different view here. That's convenient, right? And also, if you want to edit the SQL query associated with this access database source, and then you can actually utilize this one, right? So here also we have a smart tag here, and you can configure the data source. So on the file page, on the first page of the configure data source wizard, and then you can accept the default path because it is generated. We already gave the path of the database, right, at the beginning of this chapter. And then click next, and then also you can select the also you can actually choose the appropriate database if you want it. And let me just choose a specific column from the table view. And then you can actually select the appropriate name here. So table, we are looking at the table student, right? Here, right? And then choose what? Student ID, name, nationality, email, phone number, right? So now you can have SQL actually statement generated from this wizard. Very convenient, right? Click next. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, before we click the next, actually, you can also click the where clause here. So you can add more like options. And let's select the class. Okay, and then you go to graduate. Oh, do we have this one? Oh, where are you? Column class. And then graduate. Cookie, query, string, session, non. Query string. Yes. Query string. Go to graduate. Not query string. Control. I'm sorry. Yeah, it should be none. And then graduate. So that now you can have this one. Okay, click add. Right, and then you can also add the type. Where is type? Equals to full time. Right. And now you can also click the order by, and sort by, and order by name. And ascending order. And click OK. What else? Now you have the right. Let's check the SQL statement here. Select student ID, name, nationality, email, phone from table, student table, class. and then also type, right, and order by name. Okay, click next. You can test the query. Then you can see the result here. Okay, and finish. Let me go back to the advanced panel. Yeah, I didn't okay, so let's select this insert, update, delete statement. Check this checkbox here. Yeah, that's what I missed. Okay, here, this one. Yes, let's test it again, and still same result. You can finish it. All right, so then now you can update your table like this, and if you run it by press F, and you can press Control F5 here, so that you can see the update the result with the different, actually with the new form here, right? New design of the form table here. Okay, good. All right. Also, we can add some options, especially the add, delete, select option here. So in order to do that into this design, and by checking this paging and sorting, editing, deleting, and then selection. So you can add several options here, paging 1, 2, right? So that's how you add several options, especially the edit, paging, deleting, selecting, yeah, that kind of data using this smart tag. And definitely you can run it if you want to see the result quickly. So let me press Ctrl 5, F5. And now you can see the select, right? Edit, right? If you want it, update it. I'm sorry. So you don't have actually you don't have the authority to update the date. But anyway, yes. So that's how you use this menu. And let's do the new stuff. Okay. So at the access data source control, we will also display another page here. So let's call the page name as page 2. So this one is page 1, right? Page 2. Let's add one more page here, project, add new item, or new web form. So what was it? So page 2. Let's add the page 2 here. Click add. And all right. At this moment, we will just drag and drop the faculty table here. Right, so you will have department ID, faculty ID, and the name, picture, join date, salary, and email, phone address, and so on. All right, and then here, let's compare data source in this time. And then definitely we need to select the university MDB file with this location. So your location can be slightly different, right? Just check the path of your file and click next. Now you can see that this one, right? And custom, yeah, specify that, yeah, we will just use specify a custom SQL statement, okay, here. Next, and now you can see the several several menus like this: select, update, insert, delete. These are the 4 options, right? You have 4 actions you can have with for the database system, right? So anyway, if you just click the query builder shown in here, you can see that this kind of window because now we have only one table, so you can actually have this view. Okay, query builder is known as a query builder. Let me just increase the size of this one for you. All right, and here if you click the right button of your mouse, you can add a table here if you want it. And in this case, we will choose the department table, add, close it. So then now you can see this view here. It is quite similar to the view shown in the Access, right? You remember this, right? All right. And then here you can also put some filter. So in this case, we are going to put the filter for the joining date, which is greater than, oh, sorry, this equal to greater than 1995, and then also greater than 50,000 salary, right? And if you click OK, now you can have the SQL statement like this, and click next and test query. And seems like something is wrong here. I tested it, but no result here. So let me go back to the query builder. Maybe format is not correct, that's why. Let's go back to the filter here. So 1995, click next, test query. Oh, there was typo, right? That's why. Query builder. Okay. Next, test query. Yes, there was a no equal sign. Do not put the equal sign here. I'm sorry. So that you can get the result. Yes, after that, you can also choose this drop down list. Okay, click this drop down list, and then here you can see the access data source one. Okay, here this one, and also select the auto format with the rainy day. Where are you? Rainy day. Okay, and then also enable paging, enable sorting, enable selection, so that we can have 3 options here. And include this one. If you press Ctrl F5, you can test the application. Actually, you can check the result of this page. ID, department ID, and then name, picture, join date, select the email, phone address, and so on. Okay. And I think I should choose when I go back. Yeah, if you want to configure your data source, and definitely you can go back, and you can also see the generate query builder. And it seems like I need to select the name here, and then faculty ID, no department ID, picture. Faculty ID, name, and also salary, joining date. I don't need the joining date, salary, email, phone. Yes, so like this. All right, okay, that's why. Okay, next, test it, finish. Yes, and now you can have this shorten actually the table here. Press Control F5. Check your result here. Now we have faculty ID, name, salary, email, phone, expert, right? So here, yeah, now our result is just like image shown in the slide. Okay. Let's go back and then click the configure database source here. So you can also display the data blind image in grid view control technically, right? We are going to do that. This one. Next, and query builder, and here you can have a picture column. Yes. Okay. Next, test query. Now we have here the path for the image. So finish. Yes. Now we have picture here, and let's edit the column. And we are going to use image field. Basically, we are going to configure the image field here. So let's delete the existing. Okay, existing. Oops. What did I do? Let me just delete it. Okay, so now I just delete the existing picture column here, and then from the available field, actually you can select the image field entry and then click add button here. So then now you can create another actually new picture column here. So if you look at the property of this view, and here you can see that where's the data image URL field. Let's find the data image URL field under the Oh, sorry, I just choose the wrong one, so let me delete it. All right. Oh, I got confused. So there are several options here. And bounded field, check field, hyperlink field, image field. Right. So image field. And click add. Okay. So image field. Okay. Choose the image field and then click add. So now you have image instead of picture. Right. And then heading text. We are going to choose. We are going to name this one as a picture. Picture. And also under the data section, there is a URL field, right? Picture. Click OK. So by doing this, actually, you can see the externally bounded actual picture, right? So if you press the Control F5, oh, we don't have an image here. Where are you? Let me go back here. Next specify the column. Okay, yes, create a quality builder. And here, I choose a wrong one. Edit column. So here is a property. And then picture URL. Okay. Let me check the database. Here, retrieve data and picture. All right. So we need to have a picture first. Okay. So yeah, please download the picture folder as well. I think it should be in the G file, right? And then you need to copy and paste this one to your project. So we have pics here. Now, when you render this page, now you can see pictures hopefully. Right? Now you can see pictures, and others does not have any pictures, but you can see the picture. Second page, third page, and fourth page, right? Close it. All right, so please copy and paste these pictures into your project so that you can see the image actually with the database. All right, that's what I missed. Okay, so and let's use a parameterized query and provide lookup and field functionality on the web page. So here you can add, let's add another web page here. Project, add the web page, new item, a web form called page 3, here. By the way, there you can save this one. Ctrl S, yeah, let's save it. And in design view, in this time, let's say we only have access data source, and usually it should be in the data menu under the toolbox, but you know that this is the new version, so it's kind of hard to find this one. However, let's say in case that you only have this one, and then I want to let you know how to customize this access data source here. So first of all, you can click this smart tag, and here is the configure database, and then so it is connected to your access database. And here you click the specify the column from the table view, and then you can choose table name like this. Also select the relevant columns, department ID and name here. Right, and then click next. So you can test actually the query, right? I finish it. Okay, so and then let's say we want to put the drop down list control from the toolbar here. So where is the toolbar? HTML, under the HTML there should be the drop down list. Do we have one? Let me just type it, drop down list here. So we put the drop down here, and then let's configure this one. Choose data source here. If you choose the access data one source, and then now you can access each column, okay, data in each column. All right, so here name and department ID, I just select these two and click OK. So now you can see this drop down list, okay, having two actually the columns. And also if you click it and then smart tag, you can also check the auto post back option. And also let me add text box here. This text box, let's type the text here. So select department, okay. And so if user just select the department here from the text box, and then it will return the department ID, right? Because that's a value. Do you remember that? So if you go back to this configure this data source configuration wizard, we are going to utilize the access data source, which is specified in this name of this data source. And then here's you can select the name. However, it will return the value, right? Certain value. Based on your selection. So if you run this one, Control F5. You can only see the department name, okay, not the ID. But if you choose it, and then it will return the what? Return the department ID, right, internal. Right, let's go back to the access data source here, and then configure data source. Next. So you can also choose student table here, student ID, the student ID, name, nationality, email, class email, phone. Okay, and then click next. I'm sorry, previous, click where, and choose a department ID. Operator is equal, and this is control, so that you can get the list of the control. We only have one control called the dropbox, actually two, text box and the drop one and dropbox list one, right? And here deposit value is ISE, right? And then click add one. So if you're okay this, and then next test query, you can see this result, name, nationality, phone, class, email, like this, and then finish it. And let me drag and drop the grid view. Where are you? Of the student table here. Right. We have a paging option. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I should be. Let's double click this access file and configure the, let's just configure this data source. Next, and let's specify select the student ID, and then let's do it again. We did and in this table we will select the ID and also name, nationality, class, email, phone number here, and then click where, and then column department ID equal to control called what, drop down list. Here default value is ISE, and click add. Okay, and next test query. Okay, yes, and finish it. All right, and also go back to this original access file. I'm sorry, why I double click this one? Don't save it. And yes, select this one and then configure the data source, first data source. And here we have to select the department table, right? I'm sorry, department table with department ID as well as name here, right? Click next, query, and finish. Right, and then here, anyway, so based on this, this drop-down list will use actually this database source, and then this table will show the result given by this based on the selection in this drop down list, as well as the data source, second data source, right? Data stored in the second data source. So anyway, let's press Ctrl F5. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. You can choose chemistry. I'm sorry, computer science. If you choose the computer science, and you can see that it shows this result. We don't have this one. Do we have ISE? Yes, we have one, right? So that's how you utilize certain control Dropbox list, like a Dropbox list control, to provide the output from this another data source, right? Table. And you can save this one. I save it. All right, so here, if you go back to the smart tag of the grid view control, yes, select the enable selection option here, all right, and then also add, let's copy and paste this one. Let's add another data source, access data source called 3, access data source 3, right? And then you can actually click the configure data source, right, option here, and specify columns from data view, and then gen table, go ID, name, picture, nationality, type, class, email, phone, address. So except department ID, you can actually show the older result. And then next, you can test it. All right. And go back to the previous channel, the menu, and then click where. Right. All right, and then choose a student ID, and cosine and control, also grid view, right? So we have a one grid view here, right? And the and click add button. Click OK. And here advanced form, and then generate the insert update the list image. Okay. Next, finish. And what's the next? And go back to toolbox here, and then drag and drop the detail view. So detail view, details view here in the data, right? And here's a smart tag. So format, cancel it. So where is control? Detail view control, edit field, choose the source. Yes, the source. Source name should be 3. So that it will utilize query actually associated with this control, like student ID, name, feature, nationality, and so on, right? And check the enabling, inserting, editing, deleting, right? Also auto format, if you want it, you can change the format. So like a lady, apply. And Control F5. So here, if I choose computer science, right? Computer science. When you choose a certain name, like a select, and then you can see show the detailed information about this student. Okay, right? That's how you utilize multiple actually data sources as well as the controls in your web page. Good. Let me explain 3 remaining examples here. So let's open the page 4 file here. So similar to the previous 3 actually exercises, you need to add a web form, add a web form called add a web form using this menu, right? And then type the page 4. Okay, and then click add button, and so that you can have this web page here, and 5 and 6 as well. So you need to add a new web form here, and in the web form 4, initially you can actually type this code, and then this is already shown in the slide. Where are you? Yeah, slide here. So you can just follow the instruction, particularly about the repeater control. So here you need to, there is a detailed actually instruction, okay? And then definitely you need to add this code at the end. But before you do that, you need to insert the access data code source. And then as you know, this one in this version 2019 we don't have the access data source in toolbox, so that's why you can directly go to this database and then drag and drop the table here, so that you can have a table form as well as there is access data source, and then you can delete the grid. Okay, so and then if you choose a configure the database, and then definitely you can choose this table and then select everything. So finish. Okay, after you test the query, you can click finish here. So now you can actually connect your source file, this web page, to the database, right? And then initially you don't have this one, got it? But by adding this code here under the repeater, or under the repeater item, and then you can have now you can see that these tables. So if you press Ctrl F5, and here you can see that this kind of result. All right. So once again, you can just follow the instruction shown here to complete the page 4. And what about page 5? Page 5, you can follow the same actual route addressing the page 4, but in page 5 you have a slight different actually text here, so HTML code here. So if I run it, and then you can see, unlike page 4, you can see the image in addition to the information about each faculty here. Okay, you can see the image, right? And still same thing, right? So you need to add the access data source as well as a repeater. And in order to add the repeater, once again, go to toolbox type the repeater so that you can just drag and drop this one to this web page. Got it? And last one, page 6. So also similar to the page 4 and 5, we have an instruction in this slide. Okay, for the page 6, you can create a new and add a new web page into your project, and then drag and drop the grid view and change each ID. So if you go to the source, definitely you can change each ID here, right? Grid view, as well as ID for the, we have one more component control actually. What was it? Yes, drop down list. Yes, you need to change the ID of the drop down list. Initially, you can just drag and drop the grid here, right, from the toolbox, grid view. So here, drag and drop it here, and then also the drop down list, right? Drop down list, right? Drag and drop this one here, as well as a label, right? Just drag and drop here so that you can have 3 controls here, and then change their settings, right, according to this instruction. And then don't forget about this one. So you need to, if you go back to the drop down list control, and you need to select the this option so that you can send the selected information to the grid view basically. So we can update grid view based on the dynamically, right, based on the selection given by user. Right. So and then you need to do more. So if you just you need to go to the VB page here. What's happening here? So here you need to see the, you need to go to the VB page for this web page here, and then I think that, yeah, if you press the F7, and then you can see. So anyway, so you can add these two, you import these two objects as well library, and then also add these two actually definitions, declarations. So basically we want to create create a connection to the database, existing database, using this string sentence. Okay, and be careful about this part. So data source, you should have you should know the path of your library. So in my case, I put the university MBD where is on the desktop, right? So under my name desktop, I have this file, but your case, you will have you will use a different folder, right, to store the database. So please check your location or path to this database, okay? And then under the page road, initially you have this one, right? Under the page road, you can type this code. So basically, if there is a postback, and then it will automatically open the DB and then get the data, right? And then update create the name field and the department ID, and then also show the database actually data under this that grid view. And here so combo box change. So initially we have just empty grid basically internally, and we didn't show anything. So it's more like this will generate the connection, okay, internally, and get the data. Select right. You can see this text, right? Select the data from the table department. So department get the department information, right, from the database, right? Whenever you open this program, right, page load is a file name, right? So whenever this web page is loaded, this is an event, right? Then your program will execute this source file, and then from this source will what? Select everything, right? All the information from the department table, right? Okay, and then protect sub. So whenever, so this is ID of what? Drop down list box, right? So if choose something, and definitely you will call the update source. And if you look at this function, this is function, right? And then update source, you will you will select the certain data, right, from the table course, and where the parameter ID is equal to the DID, right? So, and then from this table, you will actually, based on the information given by this table, you can actually update the grid view, right? This is ideal grid view. So let's look at it. I think something is running now. Which one? All right. Fresh. Let me stop everything. It seems like my server is running right now, so I need to stop it. I need to stop this one. Right. Where's button right now? If I press Control F5, and you will see this empty window here, so you can see the label as well as drop down list. As you know, database only have information over computer science as well as industrial engineering, right? So that you can see the update table actually based on your selection. All right, so this is the last example. Thank you.